Hey everyone, and welcome to the No Scrubs podcast by Melanin Medics. We're your hosts, Ife.
And I'm Tenni, and the No Scrubs podcast is an opportunity for us to discuss what life is like at work, what we get up to outside of work, and also how we got to where we are.
So sit back, relax, get some tea, and listen to us yap about being doctors. So as this is our first episode, I feel like we should introduce ourselves because people probably don't know
anything about us. Yeah.
I think you should go first.
Okay. Cool.
Don't be shy.
So what about me? So let's talk about the medical side. My name's Tenni, as mentioned, and I am a core surgical trainee. So I have done my foundation years and I'm in my second year of core surgical training. My theme's plastic surgery, and that's what I'm going to continue doing after I finish core surgical training. Outside of work, I am a person who likes to enjoy life. And that's through many facets. I like traveling and eating like everyone does. I also like engaging in like my local book club with a couple of friends.
I'm in a book club as well.
Are you in a book club?
I'm in a book club too.
Oh, cool. Wow, what's yours about? Like, what's the...
Ours is just, it's called the Casual Readers Club. Shout out to India. And we basically just read books mainly by like underrepresented authors, so like Black and brown authors.
Okay.
Once a month.
Once a month as well?
Yeah,
okay, I love it. Oh my gosh, I forgot the name of the book, I'm so bad. But it's a crime series.
I'm not a crime babe.
We have a different theme every month. And we then like delve into the topics and like everyone talks about how their life relates to the different themes. It's real cool.
That's cute.
Yeah, shout out book
I didn't
guys.
know we have that in common.
Wow, find out more.
Okay, sorry, continue. I see.
Other things though about me, I guess. Most people who know me know that I love gym. I love lifting heavy weights to get out all the like frustration from work. And then I think that's mainly me. And I guess we'll talk a bit more later about how I got to where I am now.
Yeah, so I'm Ife. I'm an F4. I say sadly because I'm tired of it now. But yeah, I'm still locuming. I'm in my second year of locuming. The aim is to do obs and gynae in the future. At the moment, I locum between A&E and breast surgery in London. Outside of work, well, that's just one of my jobs actually. I also work in aesthetics as well. So I do like Botox and filler on the side. And then I also work in health tech as well.
3 jobs.
I have 3 jobs.
Wow.
No kids. This money is just for me. And yeah, aside from all those things I do at work, obviously part of Melanin Medics. Been part of it for 6 years. Is it 6 years?
Wow.
So, you're 6 years.
Yeah, 6 years.
Here's me on my 3rd year, like, woo!
It feels like you've been part of the team for ages.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's been fun. It's very, very dynamic.
Yeah.
Very dynamic.
It's been good. What else do I do? I read as well. I like to cook and bake. I like to have fun. Like, I like to go out.
Yeah. I think it's important. Like, when I talk about my life to people at work, I feel like they're a bit like, where you're going out again? I'm like, what am I meant to do in my free time? Yes, we continue to build, continue to get good at the job, but like, what's the point having life just being work and not living life?
You need to find outlets, otherwise the job will just swallow you up.
Exactly.
Like, was it last week or the week before? I was actually going on a date straight after work, right? And I finished work at 11 p.m. On my break, I did my makeup at work. I was doing full-face speed, and then I came back onto the A&E shop floor, and everyone was like, "What is happening?" I was like, "I'm going out after this, guys." Sorry, they're
sorry to break it to you.
Sorry to break it to you. I've got plans, but you just have to you need to enjoy your life.
It's true.
That's my main hobby, enjoying my life.
Enjoying life. That should be a hobby. Maybe we should put that on CV.
I think we should.
CEO, Chief Enjoyment Officer.
Oh, I like that. Did you just come up with it?
Sure.
Also, Tenni, I swear you just got a reg post now.
Yeah.
Round of applause. That's so good.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Less than a month ago now. So we had interviews at the beginning of April. And so it was a grueling process preparing for interviews.
I can imagine.
I was like, let me give it a go. Not a lot of people decide to go straight from core surgical training into reg training.
Mm-hmm.
But I tried it out, worked really hard, and found out that I'll be in the east of England, so where I am now anyway.
Okay.
So staying in the same area and progressing.
In plastics?
In plastics.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Not you living out your dream.
I know. I'm like, 8-year-old me's probably screaming.
8 years old? Is that when you decided you want to be a doctor?
Yeah.
8?
Yeah.
Wow. I had other dreams. I wanted to be an actress.
Actually, you know what? It was between the two. That's so
really?
funny.
Yeah, I was an actor. I wanted to be a lawyer, then not a dentist. I thought because I can talk. So I was like, let me be a lawyer. When I decided to become a doctor when I was 15.
What brought that?
So I read a book.
Okay.
And it's not anything to do with medicine. Like, it's not a non-fiction book. It was basically about, it was a series called Confessions of a Shopaholic.
Okay.
Right.
Like the film?
Yeah, but the book is sick. The
Okay.
book series that made me the woman I am today.
Okay, reader.
And then it was, one of the books was called Shopaholic and Baby. And in that book, the antagonist was an obstetrician because obviously she was pregnant.
Sure.
And she just seemed so glam. Like, she was so glam. Like, she had her heels, her own clinic. And at that time, I used to love watching One Born Every Minute. And I wanted to be a midwife.
Yeah.
Then I looked up what an obstetrician does. And I was like, let me do that.
Why can't I?
I can do both.
Yeah.
I can deliver babies and look cute and get more money for it. And that's where it started.
Yeah.
How many years ago? 13 years ago.
Yeah.
Damn. I'm
We
old.
love it. We're getting there.
We're getting there. But I have a question for you, actually.
Sure.
So I made a TikTok about this a couple weeks ago now. And it was basically saying how I no longer regret being a doctor.
Okay.
So my question to you is, do you enjoy being a doctor?
Do I enjoy being a doctor? I need to dive into what even instigated that for you. But do I enjoy being a doctor is an interesting question. I'd say most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah. So I find that when I'm at work, when things are going well, things are going to plan, when I feel knowledgeable and feel like I'm actually making a difference to the people that I see, I love it. I'm like, yes, this is what I'm here for.
Yeah.
I think on the days where maybe teams aren't working well, so there's clashes between maybe personalities or the different teams we work with, when maybe I don't feel like I have the right answer for a patient.
Yeah.
Those kind of days, I feel less happy within my role. And I'd also like just thinking about things outside of work too. Like before, I used to really think that we were at a big disadvantage. So
What, in terms of as doctors?
yeah, like we spend so much time at work. I know there's like the whole thing about us not having a lot of like financial compensation for it. And I just felt like looking at my friendship groups that I was like struggling to like life and struggling to like, do you know what I mean? I feel behind. I feel like I'm probably like in terms of where I am in life, maybe around 24. Whereas my friends who like, do you know what I mean? I'm like 5 years behind everyone.
I feel like a 28-year-old baby.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Because they're all out there like buying houses.
Yeah.
Like some of my friends are earning 6 figures.
Babies, kids.
Do you know, babies, kids, and we're just here like still battling for simple things like annual leave or like to get training posts, still got exams and everything. And it's just like, yuck.
Is this what kind of made you think that before you didn't want to be a doctor anymore?
I actually regretted being a doctor for a very long time.
Okay.
As in up until perhaps 6 months ago.
Sure.
I regret it. I was like, I just wish I didn't do this, because it was just like during foundation training, I just felt like it was really, really hard for me. My mental health really suffered. And like, I just felt like a secretary. I was just like, I don't feel like I'm actually a doctor right now. Especially when you're like an F1, you're just going on ward rounds. All you do is write notes and order scans. Like, you don't actually do much medicine.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was making many independent decisions at all.
True.
And then I started locuming and it was a little bit better, but then I realised I was just doing it to get paid. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I'm just here because the money's good. And I think 6 months ago, not 6 months ago, however many weeks ago, whenever it was that I changed my mind, I think it's because now that I'm been working in A&E for like 2 years, I'm enjoying it a lot more because I feel, like you said, more confident. Like, I know what I'm doing. I can make decisions by myself. I can handle emergency situations by myself.
That's so good.
Whereas before, you know what I mean? You just feel like, I know what I'm doing. Whereas before, I couldn't do that. And I was just like, what's the point of this? But now I'm just like, it's actually a fun job. Like, it's actually fun. Like, who else gets to scrub in on this cool surgery? Like,
we see a lot of
cool things.
I feel like you also, people share a lot of like random things with you. And you like, I feel like I'm more of an introvert, but at work I feel like I'm just what's that?
I didn't expect that.
At work I find that I actually really enjoy having a chat with people and like just finding out about their lives. So being on a plastics rotation now, like I'll be in A&E and a lot of people come in with maybe hand injuries, for example. And like whilst I'm like getting things ready or doing like a little small procedure in A&E for them, I find that like it's gonna be awkward to just sit in silence.
So you just have a chat.
I
love having a chat.
It's so nice. I'm making friends.
Do you know what I love it? I've met people in A&E who like do hair around me. I'm like, what's your Instagram?
Yeah.
I love it. And he's like, oh, I do hair. I'm like, I look at the hair. You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, amazing. I love
That's
having
so
chats with
good.
people at work.
That's so good.
I think it's good. The career is good for people actually. Like, you know, when you were preparing for med school interviews, you're like, I just love people. I love communicating, whatever.
Yeah.
That was rubbish back then. But actually, it is very true. I do love to talk to people.
Yeah.
And I love to hear about their lives and stuff. And it's nice.
See how they got there.
Yeah.
I actually want to drop back a bit to when you said you were quite depressed during foundation years.
Yeah, I was.
So I think we graduated same time, right into
Oh
the
my
pandemic.
gosh, yeah, we did. Wait, did you graduate 2020?
2020. Oh gosh.
Oh.
What
Moment
a
of silence.
year.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I feel like it was a really tough time to like start working, and a tough time to actually become an adult because you're not an adult until you graduate, really.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was a really tough time to become an adult because it's not even like you can't even like think about work-life balance. It's just work.
It was just work because everything else was shut. Just be going to work, coming back home. Oh, it was awful.
Washing your hands.
Yeah. Oh, it was awful. Did you get COVID?
I did, but not like when it was peak, and not from work. I know who I got it from.
Okay.
I got it from my brother.
Oh.
Because he'd be outside.
Okay.
But
yeah. No, it was a tough time. I just felt like it was just overwhelming.
Yeah.
It was so overwhelming. And then I just didn't have any job satisfaction. Like, I didn't enjoy what I was doing because, like I said, I just felt like a secretary. I was like, this isn't what I signed up for. And I felt like during my foundation years, I was scared all the time. I was just scared. Because I was just like, even though I wasn't doing that much, I just didn't want to make a mistake. Because it's all so new and then you rotate every 4 months.
Yeah.
You're kind of worried about making a mistake. And I actually think that's something that I don't like about the UK, what's it called? Doctor system. It's like, why are we rotating every 4 months? You know, in America and stuff, you just finish medical school, you go into your specialty.
Yeah, you match.
I don't know about anyone else, but rotating every 4 months, I used to be so anxious, like, because just like starting a whole new job again, like new people, new nurses, new way of doing things, new things to learn. And it's just, oh my, every 4 months doing that. It was a lot.
You haven't rotated in a while, have you?
I have not. So actually, that's why I'm like, I'm in love it. I'm just in one place, like same hospital.
So good. I'm still getting the anxiety because we're like in core surgical training. You rotate. Well, for me anyway, it's every 6 months. Mm-hmm. And I find that every new department, there's always that bit of like, whoa, like what's going on? Where are things? What am I doing? Mm-hmm. And I feel like, especially now that I've got my reg number, and I feel like it's time to really like step up and step into the role, like. I'm still like, oh my gosh, am I making the right decision? Is this the right call? Should I need to do this for this patient? I want to like, inside me, I want to check everything by everyone and make sure it's right. But outside, I'm like, that's not practical.
So you're going to be the reg now? So if I'm like, let me bleep the plastics reg, it's going to be you?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
I'm going to block all numbers.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So do you know what I mean? I feel like it is still quite anxiety inducing stepping up and like, and moving to different departments and like dealing with things that maybe aren't the everyday for you. So I think it's quite nice having one space. Yeah. And like growing and maturing there. I do see the benefit of rotating though.
Do you?
To an extent.
What's the benefit again?
You know, having to spend all that money, moving house.
Yeah.
And like, I think one of the benefits that you get to meet different teams and see how they all operate differently. Mm-hmm. Not operate just like in theatres, but like, like find out a bit more about how the different systems work in different hospitals too.
Do you know what? Whilst I kind of agree, but then I kind of don't also, because I just basically... I don't like how when you apply for specialty training, they can literally send you wherever.
Anywhere.
Like that does not go. That doesn't happen in other, like in the rest of the world. Like people apply for a job in a city that they want to be in, and most of the time they'll get that. Yeah. Like I actually did apply for obs and gynae training this year, and I got in, but I got into Basildon. I didn't want to go to Basildon. I'm very sorry to the Basildon natives here listening to this. Girl. I don't want to live there. I don't want to live in Basildon. No? I said no. And that's everyone I tell it looks at me like I'm crazy.
You know,
they're like, are you mad? I'm just like, guys.
I would have taken a job anywhere. I was scared, again, sorry to Scotland natives. I was scared that I was going to get Scotland.
And you would have gone to Scotland?
Like, I would take it.
But why do we have to accept this? Why do we have to go to Scotland to do our dream career? That is crazy.
The way the cookie crumbles.
I don't like that. I don't want this cookie.
I don't want this cookie.
I'm
You
so
didn't take the
sorry.
cookie. You didn't take the cookie.
I didn't take the cookie because for me, ONG is run through training.
Yeah,
so that's 7 years with no
true.
maternity leave,
Yeah.
and I'm planning on having babies. Like I'm in
Yeah.
my late 20s now. I will be having babies in the next few years, God's willing. But my point is, I don't like that. I understand that you would sacrifice and go to Scotland, but I don't think you should have to.
Yeah.
I don't think you should have to, girl.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of things in terms of our training that will actually put people off. I think plastics for me, there are a lot of things that would put people off applying. And I think just medicine in general, which probably contributed to why you thought at one point you didn't want to be a doctor anymore, and why people like me maybe have fleeting like ideas of it, like in and out too. Do you think there's any other misconceptions that you've had, or like any other things that people really feel that are like, this is why being a doctor just doesn't make sense anymore?
Do you know what, actually, this is kind of, I don't like the negative PR that surrounds medicine and doctors right now. Like, I used to regret being a doctor, sure. And then when I made that video about why I don't regret it anymore, I had loads of medical students comment like, oh my gosh, like, everyone says such negative things about being a doctor, so I'm so happy I saw this video.
Okay,
and I'm
cute.
like, I just think that the public's perception of us is very crazy. I think that people think that doctors are these infallible, untouchable kind of people. Does that make sense? Like, they have such high expectations from us. They think that we have to be perfect. They think, I just feel like being a doctor is like being a waitress. And what I mean by that is, let me land.
Elaborate.
What I mean is that when so you know when you go out, right, and like you'll go to a restaurant or something and like it's really busy and the wait is being slow, you're getting like a bit frustrated. For me, I always have sympathy for them because I'm like, in the hospital, people are like that with us.
Yeah,
they are so impatient, they are so rude, they don't think that we're human beings. Like, fair enough, the wait in A&E is 8 hours. Do you think that's what I want it to be? No. Do you know what I mean? And they're just so impatient and rude. Like, okay, the restaurant is busy. It's not the waitress's fault. No. I think people treat service providers or people who are public servants very badly. And people think that doctors should just take it and just like...
Do you think that's because of the National Health Service?
I do. I'm sorry, NHS. I do think that. I don't think doctors are respected.
Yeah.
We think that they are, but we are not.
So you think...
I don't think we need... saying that we need more respect, is that like a bit...
I think just a bit more, you know, when you're in school and they're like courtesy, compassion, like, do you know what I mean? Like a bit more understanding.
A bit more empathy.
Nice. And some people are really understanding, like they get it, like they're seeing how busy it is and they're like, whoa, like... I'm here, and some people are like too humble that, oh, I'm here with my little problem. I'm like, no,
this is a problem.
Matters.
Yeah.
But we need to risk stratify here. We need to make sure people who are like really in need of like input straight away get it. I
feel like having more, I actually like doctor content creators because I like that they're showing what being a doctor is like.
Yeah.
But actually I saw a video on TikTok. I'm sorry to talk about social media all the time. This is also my hobby, watching TikToks all day. But I saw a TikTok of this surgeon talking about how she really doesn't like Gen Z doctors. Like, why are you taking selfies of yourself in scrubs or before you go to theatre? Like, we shouldn't be showing the public these things. I'm just like, we should. They should know what we get up to. Like, I think she was commenting on how someone said that they were going to do a PR exam. I'm just like... If he's not filming the PR exam itself, why can't he say, this is what I'm doing with my day-to-day life? Why is it that, like, we have to have this... Every other career can be like, this is my day-to-day, I do this. But then, like, when doctors do it, there is such outrage. I just feel like I don't know what people want from us.
You know what? I kind of do sometimes hear the whole content and not content thing.
Really?
Like, I think sometimes... I see some things that people from a medical background may post on social media and it's like, oh, I'm doing this really urgent thing. And I'm like, is your time management making sense here if you're making, like, filming content?
Do you think?
And something needs to be happening? Like, I think it's really interesting to put on a front, well, not a front, but like for us, we've just had a whole discussion about how busy like A&E can get.
That's true.
So imagine someone's like, yeah, A&E's so busy, but let me quickly record this real quick. Like,
that's true.
That's mad.
But you know what? I do that. I've done days in the life on TikTok and I work in A&E, right? But it will literally be like, I don't record videos because I think that's a bit crazy.
Yeah.
I'll just like take a picture or something.
Yeah.
Very quickly. Like I was doing a bladder scan. The patient had left. I was tidying up the room. It takes me like 1 second to take a picture.
Yeah.
The public don't see that. they think that you're just like wasting time or like you're putting people. I'm just like, guys, like, do you know how long it takes? It's just a quick picture, and it's just like, it's unrealistic to expect us to work flat out, no breaks, not sitting down, not go on our phone, nothing. We're human beings.
So my thing is, you know how like Google treats their employees?
I don't know. Do they treat them well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I feel like, what does that lead to? Better productivity,
Thank
better
you.
outcomes.
Yes.
When my day at work is going well, like when I'm like good with the teams I'm working with, when we're like, we get a chance to eat. Like,
do you know
these
what
little
I mean?
things that make such a difference, because I will perform better.
Yeah.
When I'm fed, when I'm like, when we're working together, when we're all happy, like, that leads to better patient outcomes at the end of the day. And I feel like if like Google was to manage us for like a set period of time, like
we would all be so happy.
We'd probably get things done quicker because we were all like just treated better.
Yeah.
But I feel like the opposite happens. Like, we're literally dragged through the trenches and like now perform.
It's true. I always say I enjoy being a doctor. I just don't enjoy working in the state of the NHS right now. I think the NHS is great. It's a great concept. It's a great thing. But I just feel like it's quite tough being a medical professional in that setting right now.
Do you think it's right now?
I can only speak on myself working. To be fair, I was a healthcare assistant. I've actually been working in the NHS for 10 years.
Okay.
Yuck.
Healthcare assistant is a job in itself.
It is a job in itself.
I tried.
I'm a real NHS babe. But yeah, it's tough. And I think if we had better working conditions, I don't think a lot of people would regret it. I think we'd be a lot happier in our roles. And yeah, it would just be a much nicer work environment. But is that going to change?
No.
Okay, so to summarize, you don't regret being a doctor?
I say, if I was to collate all of the days in a year, I don't regret being a doctor.
I love that. I don't anymore, obviously. But there are negatives associated with it. Obviously, the sometimes poor working environment, the negative perception from the public, and obviously just the general stress. But I feel like we've spoken about a lot of positives, like all the cool things we get to do.
It's a cool job.
It's a cool job.
And it's a rewarding job.
Exactly. Do you have any like tips for people who are kind of struggling right now, whether in medical school or as doctors? Like, how can they get to the point that we're at right now?
Yeah. How to get there.
Like, how do you start enjoying and not regretting your career choice?
Right.
I would actually say start living your life outside of medicine. Like, really, I always say this to people, but curate the life of your dreams. Like, if you want to do a book club or do that in your spare time, like, do all these little things. There's the little things that you do in your day-to-day that actually make you enjoy life, I think. Do you know what I mean?
That's true. I think also, get back to the boring things, even things like time management.
Oh gosh.
But
you're right. No, you're right.
If you're able to be like, okay, this morning, it's a Saturday, fair enough, I want to go out and have fun this evening. The morning, I'm going to bang out a bit of work. Yeah. The evening, I'm going out.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. So like, if you've got your ARCP balance coming up, sort that out.
Okay.
So
was that a direct hit there? Why did you do that?
No,
I'm stressed.
I'm saying, like, because I left it to the last minute and it made me stressed about the job. But it's like, that's nothing to do with the job. It's just because I'm disorganized. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I get what you mean. Like, do the things you need to do so that you can enjoy.
On the tip of that, and the book club vibe that we've been on today, I'm reading a book called Atomic Habits. You've read it?
Did I finish the book? But I have got it in my bookshelf.
I'm auto-filling it because I was like, I don't have time to read this. Which is probably why I can't remember my other books. I'm like halfway through Atomic Habits now. But I find I wish I had this info before, because I find Atomic Habits is a way to like structure your life. And like, they're like, don't set a goal, like can set a goal, but like change little bits that you're having each day.
Yeah, I like that.
Have bits of enjoyment each day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's our recommendation of the week, Atomic Habits, and go outside and do one thing with your friends.
Yeah. Touch grass.
Touch grass, please. So thank you so much for listening. Make sure you catch us on socials, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn, wherever you're at.
And tune in for our next episode. I hope it was enlightening.
Bye.